Hey guys, are you tired of craving things like potato chips, pop, donuts, cookies, anything like that while you're trying to eat healthier? Hi, I'm Cora Naylor, Emotion Co practitioner. When you're at home or some of those foods just calling you, you don't really want to have them in the house, but you got your kids or a spouse or somebody that likes to eat that stuff, so it's around, and you have a hard time ignoring it while it's in your house. I know, been there, done that. Lucky I don't have to do it so much now that my kids are gone, but I know what that is like. I know, I hear some people saying, "Oh man, totally forgot I had that bag of chips in the cupboard." I mean, who does that? I would never forget there was a bag of chips in the cupboard. But the good news is there is a way that you can get rid of those cravings. And we're going to be talking about that tonight. And that's using the emotion code. But emotions can be behind a lot of our eating issues. Things like having to clean your plate. Maybe you're just bored or you're watching TV, you automatically think you have to have some snacks. Um, Loading up your fork before you finished a bite and you're already getting the next mouthful ready to go in there, and your brain doesn't even know that you're ready for the next biteful. So one of the things we can do is use the emotion code. It's a process that allows you to release trapped emotions surrounding how we feel about food. And a lot of emotion is wrapped up in food. As kids, we're told things like, we've got to clean our plate because there's starving kids around the world that would love to eat what you're eating. It can be a reward for things. It's a celebration. I mean, it is an amazing time to sit down and enjoy a meal with family and friends. But because of that, there is a lot of emotion, and a lot of it gets trapped when we're kids, and it follows us all through our life. So in a few minutes, I am going to be looking for one or two volunteers to do a session with me, and I can release that trapped emotions that are surrounding your craving, whatever that is, whatever food or drink item. So I would love to be able to help somebody out tonight. And if you are watching live, maybe you can just comment with where you're coming in from. I'd like to see who's here, and I can give you a welcome. Let's see. And when you do comment below, make sure you do give me a specific food. You can't just say, oh, you want to delete sugar. Sugar is a little too general, and it's in a lot of things. So it's got to be something specific, like, potato chips or a specific kind of candy bar. I did help one lady with Bailey's filled chocolates or milk duds. I think we talked about that last week. I also had a client that definitely was addicted to potato chips. She couldn't go to the grocery store without buying some chips, without bringing them home, without eating them, or if her family's eating the chips, she's got to eat those chips too. And since she worked with me a couple months ago, she has not had a chip, and she doesn't feel deprived because she's not having the chips, which is a cool thing, because I know a lot of people are concerned that when they delete that food, that they're going to feel like they're missing it or missing out, like when you're on a diet. But it's not like that. It's just like you don't even care about them anymore. Let's see what else. So you might be wondering a little bit more about what is this emotion code thing. The emotion code is a process that helps you to release trapped emotions. So there is a book. It's written by Dr. Bradley Nelson. You can grab the book, read it. You can learn how to do it on yourself or on your family and friends. Of course, if you take the course, you get a little more detail around it, but it is something that anybody can learn how to do. So what I will do, so trapped emotions are, any time in your life we go through specific events and things happen. If we don't process those emotions at the time, they store in our bodies like little balls of energy all over us. And they figure the average adult has about 200 or 300 trapped emotions. So can be a lot of stuff in there that can come back to get you later. And they sometimes even come in as pain. So sometimes, you have that pain in your neck or your shoulder or your hips. And it's not necessarily a physical pain, or it could be a combination of emotions and physical, but you can sometimes even release it just by releasing those trapped emotions. So that is one of the things that it's for. So let's just I'll go over a few things about how it works while I'm waiting for someone to comment, and we'll take it from there. So the first step in the process of deleting these emotions is using the emotion code chart. And that is what I'll do. I'll connect with your subconscious in this process. But the nice thing is we don't have to do it in person. Most of my clients I either do through a video chat, a phone call, or even just by email. And here is the actual emotion code chart that I use. Obviously, you can't read all of that. It's pretty small, but there are 60 negative emotions on there. And by using some muscle testing, that's the next step. I'll connect to your subconscious, and that way I can determine which of the emotions are causing your issue, whether it's aches and pains, whether it's seasonal allergies, fears, bad habits, blocks about anything, if you have money blocks, anxieties. And the way I do the muscle testing is I do it like a ring method, like that. So I'm just putting these fingers together. And so when I ask a yes answer question, my fingers stay locked together. But if it's a no answer, they just slip apart. And if you're interested in muscle testing, just go on YouTube and Google it. There's lots of other methods of muscle testing. Some people use a pendulum. There's lots of different ways of doing it. But it is a handy thing to know for asking your subconscious questions, because your subconscious knows the answers to everything you've ever done and everything you've ever been through. Even though you consciously might not remember it, your subconscious remembers everything. So the way that I do it, the work on you, because we're not together, is I have to become your proxy. So once I do that, then that's my permission for me to do the work on myself as if I'm you. But like I said, I need to get your permission. So once I have that, I'm good to go. I can't just go around, willy-nilly doing it on everybody, even though it'd be kind of fun. And, some people could probably use a little bit extra help, but I can't just go willy-nilly asking people to, are doing it without getting your permission. But once you got your permission, we're good to go. So I work with adults. If you have kids that need some help, I just need permission from the parent. And if you got animals, dogs, cats, horses, I've worked with a lady on her horse in Colorado before. That was really interesting. So I just need permission from the owner to do that. And the first thing we do is ask for what the severity is of a 1 out of 10. So I'll ask, your subconscious will tell me a number. And ideally what we want to do is get it from whatever number it is down to a 0. But at the very least, we just want to reduce the number. And over time, we can get it down to a 0 if we can't do it as a 0 right away. Because sometimes, working with the emotions is kind of like peeling the onion. You got to get that outside layer off, and then you can start working on the inside. All right. And the way I get rid of those emotions once we find them is we use a magnet. And it can be any kind of magnet. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. It could be a fridge magnet. In fact, my emotion code chart that I use, it's a magnet. What I do to release those emotions is I just swipe this 3 times over the governing meridian, which is from the bridge of my nose all the way down the back of my spine. So I swipe that 3 times to delete the emotion. Or sometimes we have what we call inherited emotions. It could be from, your mom or your dad. And those ones take a few more swipes, usually 10 swipes. And it deletes them, just kind of like the idea of deleting the magnetic strip off your credit card. Think of it like that. And then before we get started, always make sure that I'm hydrated. And it's great if the person I'm working on is also hydrated, because that just helps to get the flow of the energy going. So speaking of hydration, I'm just going to have a little drink of water. So I'm just checking if there's any comments right now. Just give me 1 sec. I'm going to check on here quickly. And then if there's no one there, we'll just go on to something else. Making sure it's not here. Okay. All right. I don't see any comments coming up right now. So I just thought while we're waiting, I will just read off a few of these emotions. So like I was saying, on the chart, there are 60 negative emotions. So the subconscious mind knows which emotion it is and which one I need to delete. So I'll just give you some definitions, because in the back of the actual book, there's a whole list of all those emotions. And I'll just see if some of these ring a bell for you. So one of them, I know that's really common. A lot of people struggle with anxieties. So the definition in here is just the feeling that something is wrong, but you're not knowing what it is, a generalized uneasiness or foreboding, a fear of the unknown, fear without a known source. Although sometimes people do know what's obviously causing the anxiety, but that's one of the ones that comes up here. If that sounds like you know, rings a bell, let me know. We can help with that. The other one that's a really common one is called creative insecurity, which I'd never even heard of that before. But now that I've heard of it, it's kind of cool. Like, you know, if you're ever trying to start a new project, maybe you're, you know, in your business and you're trying to work on something and you just can't get focused on it. Maybe you're a writer, you got some writer's block. A lot of the time, it's because you have creative insecurity. So that's feeling unsafe or untrusting of the self about the creation or development of anything, including relationships, family, health, money, or professional or artistic endeavors. A feeling of insecurity that arises and blocks the creative process. So it can be sometimes, you know, in a new relationship, or you're looking for a new relationship, starting a new money project, anything like that. So we can release that one. And another one that's really common is effort unreceived. You know, you're starting something new, things just aren't going how you want them to go, or, you know, you feel like you're putting in lots of work and you're just not getting the reward. That one is when one's work, achievement, or endeavors are not accepted or recognized. When one's best effort is not considered good enough. You get a feeling of being unappreciated or not feeling approved of or validated. So does that ring a bell for you? I know that that is really common for a lot of us to have those kind of feelings. And a lot of times it's not even something that's really happening. It's just kind of in our head, right? So I don't see anyone coming in to volunteer for us again tonight, but that's okay. You know what? I'll be here again next week. We're going to do something new because we're starting a new month. It's June, and I'm hoping that the summer weather is going to be starting. But we will then be starting on something new for that month. In the meantime, if you missed being here live, but you do have some cravings and you want to get that deleted, you're interested in that, just comment below with a yes and let me know, and we can make some arrangements for you. In the meantime, thanks so much for joining me tonight, guys. I will see you again next Wednesday night, 7 p.m. In the meantime, if you did want to, you know, maybe you thought, I wouldn't mind, you know, trying a session, seeing some more of what we can do together. This is the link for my booking calendar. I do have a menu that I can send you of all the items we can work on, plus whatever else you can think of. But sometimes you just need a little something to help you get started. And we can take a look and start making you feeling a little lighter and brighter. So have a great evening, everybody. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.